Hi, welcome back to another video. So for today's video, we're doing a sit-down video outside of my home. I tried to film this morning, no, actually the whole day, and it failed both times. So let's try it here outside before we go walking. So today we are going to talk about the pros and cons of being a language assistant in Spain, in Madrid specifically, in my experience. And generally, what it's like being an OFW, technically, working outside the Philippines, the life, and also the things that people don't talk about when they move abroad. So I divided this into 3 parts. We're gonna do cons, pros, and the other things. So hopefully later on, the pros will outweigh the cons, because there are a lot of cons, but they're just very real things. And also, I took my time planning what to say in this video because I didn't want to project my own personal things in this content. So I will keep it as honest and as real as possible. So let's start with the cons. The first thing is the changes with the renewal. This is the biggest factor this year. Suddenly, the ministry decided that they will prioritize the first-year applicants before they will renew the assistants that are already here first. Suddenly, assistants started posting in the Facebook groups like, somebody called me today, they're taking back my carta, because technically it's not a binding contract, it's more of like a scholarship grant. So as time goes by, mas madaming assistants yung hindi nakakakuha ng karta hanggang nag-July na, nag-August na. I know some people who weren't able to receive kartas even if parang renewal na lang sila or lilipat sila ng other regions. It's just sad because they did not post about it, they didn't send an email, there was no formal announcement and things like that. So lahat ng walang backup plan, nagpanic na parang nag-apply sa ganito, sa ganyan-ganyan. So it was very difficult for them. So that's one thing. Kasi before, madali mag-renew, ganyan. Ngayon, hindi na. So second is job security. This job is not for long term, I guess. So if you're looking for stability and things like that, I don't think this is it. And sabi nga ni Tim, this is just like a stepping stone. If you want to be a teacher, this can be a stepping stone. If you want to try living outside of Philippines, stepping stone to. Pero hindi siya pang long-term na career, ganon, or profession. Although, there are other assistants na na-absorb ng school, na directly silang hinahire ng school, ganyan, or they work in language academy and things like that. So, they stay here for good. Pero yung language assistant job mismo, mahirap siya kasi every year, depende pa sa school if marirenew ka. So, hindi talaga siya stable or long-term. So, ayun, as I was saying, hindi talaga siya pang matagalan. Parang, maybe 3-5 years. Actually, pwede ka namang tumagal kung gusto mo siya, pero kung at some point, para maghahanap ka na ng stability, this is not the one. And if madami kang commitments, like you're paying for a lot of things, you might want to reconsider. Okay, so the next few cons that I will mention are actually like intertwined with each other, and you will understand why when I finish. So the next one is the higher the competition, it's more difficult to transfer from one program to another. And every year the program gets more popular, like there are more applicants. So there was actually one person on Instagram who asked me tips on how to transfer from ministry to other programs. And even if I tell you that to apply immediately, send in your application on the first day, aside from making a good application, it still won't guarantee you a spot in the program because there's just like too many applicants. Next is there is no salary increase and no summer income. So that's another big, I think it's the biggest factor, the no summer income. Because even if you save the whole school year, you will just spend it during the summer. So imagine you're spending your savings technically, tapos wala kang natatanggap na income. Okay lang if meron kang mga private classes, babysitting gigs, what else? Summer camps, magsusurvive ka naman ng summer. But I think what I'm trying to say is, kahit mag-save ka, nauubos siya during summer. And that leads to my next con. It's difficult to save for long term, I guess. So, with a whole summer setup, nagpapadala ka, emergency expenses, traveling, ang hirap kasi ginagastos mo lang yung iniipon mo when summertime comes. And another thing is, I think this is one of the difficult things to deal with family, relatives, is the big misconception na pag nasa abroad ka, malaki yung sweldo mo. I mean, no, malaki naman siya. Pero ang ina-assume ng mga tao, sobrang laki ng savings mo, which is hindi naman siya totoo in all cases. Ganyan. So, yun. Kung may impression ka na pupunta ka dito na makakaipon ka ng sobrang daming pera, depende din talaga sa lifestyle mo though. Pero sa experience ko and sa people around me, hindi siya totoo. Ganun. Hindi ka talaga masyado makakaipon. Actually, meron akong friends na nagsabi na mas may purchasing power sila sa Pinas dahil nakatira sila sa parents. So, less yung ginagastos. That's another con. When you're here, you have to pay for yourself. Like, everything. Like, ikaw talaga. So, isa din yun sa biggest con. Wala kang kahate whatsoever. You pay for yourself. Next one is language barrier. It's difficult, but this one, you can fix it if you intentionally study Spanish. And the more you get exposed to it, the more mo siya na matututunan. So don't worry about it. And may nagtanong sa akin, how did I function before studying Spanish? Translate. Wala ka talagang choice but to translate and adapt to your environment, to the people around you. Ang con na to, hindi na ako nakaka-relate. Kasi pumunta ako dito ng my friend. Pero madaming tao na sobrang na homesick, naging lonely, or mabilis ma-homesick. And medyo mahirap pag mag-isa ka lang, tas wala kang solid circle of friends. Kasi pag nagkasakit ka, walang mag-aalaga sa'yo, ikaw lang talaga. Yun yung sinasabi ng mama ko na OFW din yung mom ko. So pag sinasabi niya na ang hirap magkasakit pag OFW, totoo yun. Nung nagkasakit ako, buti na lang nandiyan si Tim, may nag-alaga sa akin, ganyan. Pag ikaw lang mag-isa, parang alaga mo yung sarili mo, luluto ka and everything. So mahirap yun. Another thing na con is parang nawawalan ka ng idea of home, ganon. Parang at least sa case namin, palipat-lipat kami ng bahay. So, parang wala kang permanent na home. Siguro at this point, yung naging home ko na lang is si Tim, yung friends ko. Pag kasama ko sila, I feel like home. Pero, nawala na yung idea na dito ka nakatira, ito yung home mo. Basta, it's a weird feeling. Next con, mas masarap talaga ang food sa atin. Tapos, mamimiss nyo yun. Pero itong mga con na to, mga mababaw na lang to. Yun, yung food, mamimiss nyo talaga yun. Yung food dito, meh lang siya. And then, yung physical changes, like, your body can change, your hair, your skin, because of the weather. Pero yung mga little things na lang yun. I think yung biggest cons is about money, like money-wise, financial stability, ganyan. Talk about the pros. Yung pros naman, more on general siya na moving out of the country, working abroad, ganyan. I think the auxiliary path is one of the easiest ways to move out of the Philippines. If you compare it to migrating to other countries, mas mahirap yung process doon and mas expensive. So if you really want to try living abroad, I think this is one way to do that. Next one, it can open doors to other things. Like you don't really know who you meet here, who you encounter, or baka makapag-apply ka sa certain job, may ma-meet ka na someone, yung mga ganon. So, parang endless possibilities din siya at the same time. Kasi nasa new place ka na, ganyan. So, madami ding opportunities dito, lalo na if marunong ka mag-Spanish. Pwede ka talaga mag-apply sa mga companies who are willing to support your work visa. So, you can have like a more permanent visa dito sa Spain. So, the next pro of being a language assistant in Spain, I'm saying this specifically kasi baka hindi siya applicable sa ibang countries or whatever, pero I think when you compare it to the Philippines, the quality of life here is better. Lalo na kung language assistant ka. Kasi technically, you're under a scholarship. So, all your basic needs are met in a way. So, it means less stress, ganyan. And, parang more time to yourself. For example, when I say basic needs are met, the food is affordable and I think it's also healthier. The transportation, at least here in Madrid, it's very efficient, so it saves you time. And yung work hours as a language assistant, hindi naman siya too much, I think. Somehow, may time ka pa din sa sarili mo to do the things that you want. So, if you add all of those things up, parang yung quality ng life mo, so good. So, ayun, less stress talaga dito, I think. Based din sa mga kwentos ng ibang tao na grabe sa Pinas, pag nag-commute ka, ganyan, grabe ang tagal. So, nauubos yung oras mo sa isang araw. Next is, another pro is yung life nila dito, or yung lifestyle nila is very laid back. So, they really work to live and not live to work. Parang wala ditong grind culture. Alam niyo yun? Yung hustle culture. I mean, you can hustle if you want. Dito sa kanila, as long as parang nagtatrabaho sila, on the weekends, grabe yung life nila. Nagta-travel, meet with friends, nasa park, ganun. Ganong level pag sa Pinas kasi minsan, based on observation, parang yung weekends mo, minsan ipapahinga mo na lang, ganyan. May mga times din kami na ganon, pero siguro dahil yun sa job namin, dahil teacher, so parang grabe, minsan kahit nasa bahay ka, nagtatrabaho ka. Pero yun, very laid back yung life nila. And another thing, better environment. And I mean that literally. Like, ang daming green spaces. Like this one, like nasa park kami ngayon. Dun parang may mga basketball court dyan sa gilid. Na-appreciate ko siya kasi nako-compare ko siya sa childhood ko before na lumaki ako sa mall instead of outdoor spaces. Ganon. So, if ganun din yung kinalakihan nyo, mas ma-appreciate nyo yung mga ganito. And hindi nyo mananotice na grabe yung impact niya sa well-being nyo once nasa labas na kayo, naglalakad, parati kayo nasa park, ganun. Parang maganda siya sa buong pagkatao mo. Ganyan. Good for your soul. For me, if you add those little things, yung quality of life, basic needs, and all of those, worth it pa din talaga siya, even if you compare it to the cons. So, the pros still outweigh the cons. And another thing, if you're a language assistant, at least in the programs covered yung medical insurance mo. So, when you get sick, you don't have to worry about it. Yung mga ganong bagay. Very basic dapat siya sa buhay na tao. So, if your needs are met, parang you can live life comfortably and hindi naman stress-free, pero, you know, less stress. And I think those things are very important, especially if you're in your 20s. It will give you more time to discover yourself, try new things, ganyan. So, parang hindi ka lang ba nagtatrabaho lang, parang nabubuhay ka talaga while still working. And then what else? These things, we always talk about this. Travel life is easier as someone who owns a Philippine passport. It's easy to travel from Spain pag may ID ka na and all that. Affordable din yung food, as I mentioned. And then, also freedom to be able to do what you want. Kasi, syempre, mag-isa ka lang. So, hindi ka masyadong parang restricted, ganon. You can try new things. Another pro is new culture, new people, literally new place. You learn new things. You discover new things about other people, life, the world, or yourself. Ganon. Grabe yung tili, guys. Grabe yung tili sila. Yun, parang yun lang yung time to discover a lot of things. And I think yung mga ganong opportunities, parang you can't put a price on it. Parang ganon. The bottom line ng pros is parang it will give you a chance to grow as a person, and yung experience na makukuha mo living outside the Philippines, abroad, by yourself, with your friends, immersing yourself in a new culture, parang invaluable siya. And the last part of this video, things that people don't really talk about when they move abroad. This is actually a current trend on TikTok. People are actually starting to talk about it. The first thing is, yes, moving abroad maybe will solve some of your problems or make life a little bit better, but it won't be problem-free. Ganon. Minsan kasi akala ng tao parang moving abroad is an escape. Well, it is. I think it is up to a certain point, pero hindi siya problem-free. Next one is better relationship with family. I think na ano to ng halos lahat ng mga nakaka-encounter ko or nakakilala ko, merong sinasabing quote na parang it's better and healthier to love them from afar. I think sa ibang tao, sobrang applicable nun. Na parang mas healthier yung relationship nyo, hindi nagiging toxic dahil malayo kayo sa isa't isa. Pero at the same time, may mga tao din naman na sobrang close sa family na pag nalayo, parang sobrang hirap for them. And next one is disconnect with some people or friends. This is so true. Meron akong friends na medyo parang nag-disconnect na kami. Hindi naman in a bad way na like FO na, but more of like, hindi na kami masyadong nakaka-relate sa isa't isa kasi iba yung na-experience ko daily, iba din yung na-experience niya daily. And sometimes, kahit anong kwento niyo sa isa't isa, parang hanggang doon lang siya, hanggang kwento lang siya. Hindi nyo siya fully maintindihan kasi nasa magkaibang lugar kayo. So yun, may possibility din na maka-disconnect kayo sa ibang tao, sa friends nyo or family. Next, you missed out on your family's little things or celebrations like birthdays, holidays. Yun yung mga times na medyo nakakasad siya na parang, oh, naalala niyo dati pag Christmas sa Pinas, ganito, ganyan. Syempre dito ibang way nila sineselebrate. So yun yung mga ibang bagay na, yung mga grand things sa Pinas. Alam niyo yun, yung lalo na yung Pasko, parang nakakamiss talaga yung mga ganon. Next thing is, na-realize ko lang to nung iniisip ko yung content na to. Sa perspective ko, parang saglit pa lang ako sa Spain. Pero pag inisip ko na lahat ng mga nangyari sa friends and family ko sa Pinas, parang ang tagal-tagal na. Parang, for some weird reason, parang ang tagal na nung lumipas na oras sa Pinas. Tapos dito, feeling ko parang kakarating ko lang. Ganun. It's so weird, yung feeling. The next one, na-realize ko lang to kanina. Now that you're like an OFW, going home is actually a luxury, ganon. Or, hindi na siya basta lang na, ay, sige, uwi tayo. Kailangan mo nang pag-ipunan yung ticket mo. Ganyan. Unless, like, you're rich, edi go. Pero, alam mo yun, pag hindi ka naman wealthy, nagiging luxury na siya. Para kang magbabakasyon sa ibang bansa. Diba? Literal na ganun. Ticket mo, pocket money mo. So, it's weird. Kasi akala mo parang mabilis ka lang makaka-uwi sa Pinas. Ganyan. Last is, life abroad can be romanticized. Pero you can also make the best out of it. Ganyan. It's not perfect, but I think it's really worth it. So when you come here, if you come here, you should enjoy it and sulitin nyo talaga lahat ng aspects of living abroad. So I hope this video is somehow helpful to people, especially if you're deciding if you're gonna apply or not, and to the incoming assistants. I hope you will enjoy your life here. So, yun lang. Sana naging helpful yung video na to. Oh, Juliet. Pero I really want this to be helpful kasi it's a big thing, moving abroad. And if you have any more video suggestions, just comment it down below. So far, yun lang ang changes and updates about language assistant life. The rest is the same. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!